Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of the Sword of Hope for the Nintendo Game Boy. As you can see, I've done some level grinding. I didn't necessarily need to do the level grinding to do what I'm about to do in this episode. But there's a boss monster and you could fight it, and you could defeat it at a lower level, level 15. But it's kind of a luck-based fight. The fight is with this Yeti, and the Yeti has a spell called Frigid Air, and it does a lot of damage and lowers Theo's agility. And like I said, about two of those can finish Theo off, because it can do up to like 47 damage. And the Yeti always goes before Theo, so you just gotta, if you get unlucky and the Yeti casts like Frigid Air twice in a row, you're pretty much done. You might think, you know, my first round cast Frigid Air, you know, and then your second round you're gonna think, okay, I'll cast, you know, Recover a medium to heal up. But the Yeti will go before you, cast Frigid Air, and finish you off. And I don't want to show deaths off in this playthrough. Even though, like I said, there's not really a penalty for death. You just start back at the old man. You still have all your experience, all your items. You just start with only 20 hit points, 20 MP. So you probably have to go to the Shaman and heal up. But I don't want to show that off, so here I'm going to show off a bunch of things in Camu's domain. So there's these three lakes around Camu's domain. One of them has Camu. It's the last one we'll visit. That one right there has a fairy. And if you answer the fairy's questions, she has like a little quiz for you. If you answer her quiz correctly, she gives you an item, this fairy lamp. And then the last lake that I'm going to mention here, but I'm going to visit it next, is this one that has a Lami in it, which is an enemy that appears as like a lady. Now you can see the lady, both the fairy and Camu, but you can't talk with them. You have to get this ring, and we have to do a little quest to get that ring. And speaking of quests, we'll actually be able to complete a side quest here. Remember back in Mortel's domain, we met Poliniyak's ghost, and he said there was a Yeti who stole his sapphire tear, and we need to get it back. So if you find the Yeti here, defeat the Yeti, get that sapphire, you can take it back to Poliniyak, and you get the final armor, the platinum armor. That'll be good because we have quite a few bosses coming up. There's another boss near the beginning of this area. Actually, it's to the right if you go over there. This imp. We're not going to fight him right now. He's a little bit tougher, so we won't actually have the platinum armor when we fight him. Even though I gain all these levels, when I'm fighting all these enemies here, magic is still the best way to go. I ended up getting the Fire 4 and Lightning 4 spell. They hit all enemies. Fire does a little bit more damage, which is weird considering you get that before you get Lightning 4. But now there's a lot of enemies here. Some areas I know you noticed that I'm not looking at everything. That's because there are 3 screens that have either an herb, barley, and if you have maxed out herbs and barley like I do, it's gold, but I have maxed out gold, so if I looked at some of these places when I first went through them, I'd just be wasting either the gold, the barley, or the herb. So I'll look at them as I leave and need some supplies, because I'm going to need to refill my health a few times, fill my MP a few times, because you'll see that enemies are very, very common in this area. Speaking of enemies, here's the second pond I was mentioning, and the lady appears, and if you hit the lady, rather than just disappear like at the first lake, this Lamia appears and fights us. So here's a bunch of spells that some steal hit points, basically steal your stats. She'll steal hit points, she'll steal agility, and then that ends up going back to her, buffing her up. So she debuffs you and buffs herself. Now we have spells that do that too. Those pillage type spells. But they're kind of useless because they don't have really good accuracy. And for the most part, it's just easier to just straight up use your magic to defeat enemies quickly. The only one that we can't really use magic on is those apes. They seem immune to magic unless they cast their own magic and it backfires. They cast that Beige Fire spell and if it backfires because it's Beige Fire 1. So there I used some barley, and then I checked that hole, got some more barley. And here we have this pagoda, but the door is closed and it doesn't seem to have a key. You have to do like a little quest to get into there. This area right here reminds me a lot of Shadowgate. About 60% of the way through that game, when you get near the throne, you get to step outside the castle. You have this balcony. You use a lightning rod to have lightning strike the balcony, and it summons a wand. But I kind of get the same vibes around here. There's going to be when you get into that gate there. Get to the top of the pagoda. Yeah, gotta use an item to get an item. So even the music sounds very Shadowgate-like. But that makes sense because they were, both games are made by the same company here, Camu. This one came later, so you can see the similarities that it took from it. Like I said, I mentioned before, I'll be playing Shadowgate. Part of the Mac trilogy, Deja Vu, Shadowgate, and The Uninvited. I mean, it's not Mac trilogy, Mac Venture, because originally those 3 games are all on the Macintosh computer. They just got ported by Camu to Nintendo. Color and music. This works really annoying. I think is a lot of times the Beige Fire does slightly less damage than they have max health. They have 53 hit points, and a lot of times my Beige Fire tends to do like 51. And you go to attack them thinking I'm not going to waste magic to just do 2 hit points on them. And they use that recover spell on themselves, and you gotta use the magic anyway. But this is why it's important to carry a bunch of herbs to restore that magic points. Yeah. Enemies are plenty here, so it didn't take too long to gain those levels. I gained them while I was watching Retro Gaming Live TV, their RG Love, Retro Game Love Marathon on Twitch TV. Get to see a bunch of old games. Yeah, I'm not into newer games, so it's an interesting little channel. Like I said, they mainly play older retro type games. Even now, like some games that are considered retro, I still consider kind of new. When I think retro, I think of Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy, anything before 2000, Atari. Let's keep walking around. Let's use an herb. Get back our magic points because we have a lot of enemies to come. See? I don't know why we're looking for a gold nugget. Said apes, magic doesn't work on them, so just use your magic on the orcs or shadows if they appear with apes. Hope you get lucky in the orc or the shadow takes out the apes. You get to see the variation on the attacks here coming up. Sometimes you're doing 2 damage, and then all of a sudden we'll like out of nowhere do like 20 some. So yeah, 29. It's like a 27-point difference. how this is coded to determine damage, what the equation is. It must have a pretty big variance to it. Even all these levels, still magic is the way to go. We're heading to the final lake here, and this is the lake where Camu is, but of course once again we can't talk with her. We can see her, but we won't be able to interact with her. I guess I need to get a ring, and we have to defeat another boss monster to basically do the queue to have this monster show up. So yeah, I get into like a whole bunch of battles here, so I'm just fast forwarding a little bit. It just seems like enemies will not leave me alone here. I think I end up actually getting another level from all of these fights. There we go, another level. Arctic 2. That's just a little stronger version of that Arctic spell. Need some barley, because we can find more a barley or an herb here. We got the herb, that's okay. We were missing an herb anyway, because we used one earlier to restore a magic point, so if you got barley, or either one would be okay. So we got a big group of shadows like this. This is where Mage Fire 4 comes in handy. It hits all the enemies. Lightning 4 also does that, so I'll show that spell off. Shadows are annoying. Their attacks hits everybody. I guess it's not really annoying, but yeah, it's interesting. Their attacks, if they attack you, they'll also hit every other enemy on the screen. So that's good when like the shadows against like say with like apes or something. They end up wiping out the apes, and I saw there they end up wiping out one of their buddies. Now I'm showing off everything here, but you don't really want to look in the mud. You end up slipping in the mud and taking some damage. But just like those arrow traps in the last episode, I just want to show everything off. So, here we go. I'm going to want to heal up anyway in a little bit, because we have the Yeti coming up. Just a few screens. Let's head on into that hole. This is the Yeti's domain. See that little rock there? It looks like out of focus. There's another boss monster in another screen. You're gonna see another like out of focus rock. And basically, you hit the rock, and in this instance, hitting the rock gets us that sapphire. Here comes the Yeti. Beige fire on it. I think being a Yeti and an ice monster, fireball might do more damage, but actually beige fire ends up doing more damage than the tornado spell. So his physical attacks, really weak. You hope that he just uses physical attacks. But like I said, sometimes you get unlucky, and that's what I did on that level grinding. And sometimes I'll just cast Frigid Air twice right in a row, and that pretty much wipes you out. But we luckily got a high roll down the beige fire. He just takes about 4 to finish him off. He has 100 hit points. And now we got the sapphire. Nice. So I could warp back to Martel's domain, and I will in a little bit. But there's basically just a few more screens to go here. We're going to lead to a dead end. I just wanted to show it off. So back at the beginning, there was a way we could have went right. There's a hole we could have went to the right. If we go that way, we'll find this other boss monster, this imp. And then if you follow that path for a few more screens, you're going to end up at this pathway here. But unfortunately, no matter which side you enter this path coming from, this next screen, when you enter it, basically a ledge collapses, and yeah, the cliff collapses. You can't cross the other side, so yeah, either way it ends up as a dead end. So, nope, we can't just do a loop around and go fight the imp. We gotta do. But there's no point us taking a long way back. You want to go to Martel's domain. Let's walk to Martel. He actually has some new things to say after we talked with Shabo and did all his stuff. Prince Theo, you can surely defeat the darkness with your wisdom. Alas, we wizards are weaker than most people realize. We can only prevent the spread of evil darkness. Please save this country from the darkness as soon as possible. We will try. First we gotta get that Sword of Hope. The Sword of Hope is interesting. It's like that, I mentioned the shadows when they attack. They hit all enemies. They hit everything, even like their fellow enemies. The Sword of Hope does that too. When you're shooting the sword, it hits all the enemies on screen. So it's like a, Beige Fire 4, Lightning 4, Fireball 4. Here we just stop him by the altar again. Might as well use Grace. It doesn't cost any MP, and he gives you the little clues. There's some place that reflects a person's face. And this lets us know that it's Camu. One of the faces is Camu. Let's head on back this way. And we're gonna head to that well. This is not the last time we'll be coming back to this graveyard. We're much weaker orcs. Like I said, look at the well. We see the lid, then we can open the lid. We can hop down the well. This is the way to get to, like I said, Poliniyak's grave. You want to get to him to give him back that sapphire, so you can get the best armor in the game, the platinum armor. We still have 2 more swords to go, but the next sword that we get is kind of pointless, because as soon as you get the next sword upgrade from Camu, immediately afterwards you're able to get the Sword of Hope. So you basically don't even use the 3rd sword. Let's use the hit command here on the wall again to summon that ivy. Climb the ivy. Let's go see that ghost. Climb up. Like I said, now that we have the sapphire, we can, I guess, let this spirit go to rest. The grave. This will summon Poliniyak. Here he comes. And he's going to see that we have the sapphire in inventory, and then he'll tell us to use it. Use that, and that summons him again. And he exchanges his platinum armor that he once wore. Return your sapphire. There we go. Oh, you got the sapphire back. Such a jewel shall not exist in this world. As the swordsman spoke, the sapphire became a blue drop, and then it splashed away. Prince Theo, in thanks, I give you the platinum armor I once wore. It will surely protect you, though. And I guess it's magical armor, and it's just magically adjusts to our size. That's how it works in Dungeons & Dragons, I think. Magic armor. It automatically adjusts to a character's size. It's been like 2.5 decades since I played Dungeons & Dragons. But I think that's how it used to work. There's the shaman. Let's talk with him, restore our health. And then we'll look at his crystal ball and get a password. And then we'll use that password to start up our next episode. Head back to Camu's domain, take out that imp, and see if we can go about finding Camu. So, take care of yourselves, have a good one, thanks for following along, have a good day, bye!